Next on Worcester News Tonight, more than 2,700 delegates will endorse Republican candidates for statewide office this weekend in Worcester. We have a preview. Plus, the new budget for the WRTA. While it doesn't include any cuts to service, it may not fund the whole year. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. Massachusetts Republicans will cast their votes tomorrow to see which candidates advance to this September primary ballot. The DCU Center will host the state's Republican Convention, which will see thousands of delegates make their way into the city. Our Cam Jandro joins us now live with the details. Cam?
Anna, a total of 7 seats will be voted on at tomorrow's convention, including that of governor. Tonight, I caught up with a few people who will be there tomorrow, and they will also cast a vote.
Final touches in Worcester's DCU Center as the city prepares to host the 2018 Massachusetts Republican Convention.
We'll do the roll call and nominate our candidates for governor, lieutenant governor, senate, and the constitutional offices.
2,700 delegates from across the state will endorse candidates for statewide office this weekend. For Central Massachusetts Republicans, like Worcester County Sheriff Lou Evangelitis and Governor's Council member Jen Casey, hosting the convention is a boost for the area.
And it's so great for all the delegates. They're coming from every corner of Massachusetts to come to Worcester, to see our restaurants tonight on Friday night, to walk through the downtown, to feel the vibrancy of the city.
So when everybody's coming together throughout the whole state, there's so much energy. It's so exciting.
Candidates who receive at least 15% of the delegates' vote qualify for the primary ballot in September. Governor Charlie Baker and Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito are expected to easily secure a spot. John Kingston is making his first run at the United States Senate. He's hoping to challenge Democratic incumbent Elizabeth Warren.
So for us, it's exciting because we're the outsider coming in to say, we're just learning the rules of the game, and let's figure out the rules of the game and see what's the best we can do.
Following Saturday's convention, Massachusetts Republicans say they're ready for the long campaign trail which awaits.
You adapt to the late night events, but you meet so many great people along the campaign trail. It's so reinvigorating every night.
It's a real celebration as us as Republicans to have a chance to get together right here in the heart of the Commonwealth, Worcester, Massachusetts, have a great day tomorrow, and then begin our campaigns. The real work starts after tomorrow.
Now, the convention this year will be switching from paper ballots over to electronic ballots. They say the results are expected sometime Saturday afternoon. Anna?
Thanks, Cam. Tonight, new information from 2 different investigations about orders to alter the arrest report of a judge's daughter. The reports released Friday detail the actions by law enforcement personnel, including the former head of state police. But we're learning no criminal charges will be recommended. Our Rosalind Flaherty has the story.
Attorney General Maura Healey releases a report finding there is not enough evidence to file criminal charges in altering arrest reports involving a judge's daughter.
I didn't think the record should have been changed and that the reprimand should have been put in anybody's jacket.
2 Massachusetts state troopers filed lawsuits last year alleging they were forced to alter Ali Bebo's arrest report. Bebo was the daughter of a Dudley District Court judge and allegedly made inappropriate statements during her arrest on charges of drunk driving and OUI. The report says former Colonel Richard McEwen ordered members of his staff to remove comments she made to troopers about providing sex for heroin.
The reputation of the state police was in fact tarnished by all of this.
The report goes on to say Worcester District Attorney Joseph Early Jr. had several phone calls with Colonel McEwen and asked him what he was going to do about the report.
I said it was a mistake for McEwen to do it, and obviously I would argue that it was a mistake for Early to do it too.
Early's office released a statement reading in part, all individuals at the district attorney's office acted lawfully and acted in accordance with all pertinent guidelines. All standard protocols were followed and applied appropriately as they are for all cases. Another report appointed by the state police found McEwen and Early's decision to revise the report came from, quote, flawed judgment.
We did believe it was flawed judgment. We didn't think the arrest report should have been changed, and I'm glad that these independent reviews support that.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
The Attorney General is recommending the state's Ethics Commission look into the matter. Meanwhile, the state police could be hit with a huge bill from the National Revenue Service. That's according to the Boston Globe. It's reporting the state has failed to pay taxes on a commuting perk doled out to troopers since the 1970s. It's a $40 a day reward for certain troopers who drive their own cars to work. The Globe reports the IRS could now seek millions of dollars in back taxes. Holy Cross freshman Clara Gibson is trying to help increase disability awareness and eliminate the stigma around it. She's an autistic student herself. Earlier this week, she spoke in front of a group of students sharing her experiences and observations about being autistic at home, at school, and in society. Gibson says talking about her own experience has been encouraging and wants to help others understand more about those living with disabilities.
There's a tendency to see disability as sort of a weakness that you should hide lest people think you don't deserve to be there. But that really doesn't have to be the case. A lot of times autistic people have strengths either intellectually, whether it comes from a subject that they really love, or just whether it comes from the inner strength that we all have to build living in a world that really does not cater to our needs.
Gibson says the Office of Disability Services recently got a grant to form a peer educator group based specifically on disabilities. This Saturday is the Drug Enforcement Administration's National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. It's an opportunity for people to get rid of their unwanted, expired, or unused medication in a safe way. Police departments like Leicester have drug disposal kiosks located in the lobby of the department and are allowing people to drop off, no questions asked. According to the 2015 National Survey on Drug Use and Health, 6.4 million Americans abused controlled prescription drugs. The study shows a majority of abused prescription drugs were obtained from family and friends, often from the home medicine cabinet. A new budget is passed for the WRTA as the company continues to struggle with financial issues. And despite the new budget, there's still plenty of concern tonight. Board members are worried on how it may affect people who rely on the bus to get around. Our Brittany Schaefer explains.
The Worcester Regional Transit Authority Advisory Board unanimously passes a $25 million budget, but says it won't last the whole year.
We had a deficit of about $670,000. It's just an inflationary cost that goes up every year. If you're not keeping up with that inflationary cost, it's going to put you at a deficit.
Administrator Jonathan Church says they are now working with legislators in hopes of getting more state funding. In 2018, transit agencies received a decrease in funding from previous years, leading to service cuts and raised fares. Church says it could unfortunately be a possibility again in 2019.
We will likely have to make some service cuts as proposed, which we've gone out to public review with. We'll have to bring those to the board to make some difficult decisions about what service to cut in order to have that balanced budget.
70% of the WRTA's budget is funded by the state. Advisory Board Treasurer Doug Belanger says their riders can't handle more cuts.
Creates anxiety for everybody, and I'm just tired of doing that to our own riders. 40% of our riders take the bus to go to work. 15% of them take the bus to go to a medical appointment. In the way we're going, we keep chopping and chopping, you're not going to have a service.
To avoid possible cuts, Belanger presented the idea of a penny gas tax. He says something needs to change to save transit agencies.
A penny would generate somewhere between $25 and $30 million a year. Somewhere, doing what we've been doing can't continue.
And Friday, the Senate passed a supplemental budget of an additional $4 million to transit agencies. The WRTA says it would help. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
Leadership, teamwork, and character development. They're just a few qualities Skills USA teaches students. The Massachusetts chapter hosting its 44th annual state championships Friday at Blackstone Valley Technical High School. Governor Charlie Baker participated in today's event. Students were able to show off their skills, including robotics, nursing, and cosmetology.
Help students who go to vocational schools to really learn the leadership skills and the soft skills that will help them get a good job when they graduate high school so that they don't necessarily have to go straight into college.
More than 34,000 students, teachers, and administrators in Massachusetts are part of the program.